भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदब्रह्मोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः स्यान्तन्न विदुःसुराः सुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। समझिए वाटर इधर है, मत उठिए, आइए बैठ जाइए। जी भगवत गीता है ना?
No, I need for myself.
Oh, for yourself, yes. Chapter 4. Gita Marathon. So this is chapter 4, and yesterday we completed chapter 3. Chapter 4 has many different topics. And in fact, chapter 3 flows into chapter 4. And there was no reason for chapter 3 to begin with, because chapter 2 stopped at a very nice place. And in fact, we stopped at the end of chapter 2 yesterday. Yeah, not chapter 3 and 4 we have to do now. Chapter 2 contains the vision of the Bhagavad Gita. And what is the vision? That you are not subject to destruction. You are whole. You were never born. You are not subject to death. This is all chapter 2. The vision, because and the person cannot be killed or be killed. Be killed or kill. This was what. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Nahanti nahanyate. All this was told. And why was this told? Because death is seen as the worst thing that can happen. The worst possible outcome is death. And so therefore, when that itself is denied, then all the other vikaras, means all the other changes that are taking place in the body, are also denied for the I, the Atma. So if there is no death, that means what? There is no birth. Then between death and birth are like two slices of bread. In between there are 4 layers of sandwich. So what are they? Then birth is born and then grows up, survives birth. 2 grows up, 3, and then what else happens? Grows up and then blossoms, becomes capable of reproduction. And then after that begins to decline and then dies. All the vikaras are dismissed for the Atma. They are all dismissed. Because if death is itself not there, that's the worst thing that can happen, then everything else is also dismissed. This is the idea. Well, then this was the vision. And then this vision is gained through a way of life. And it's a beautiful way of life where the whole point of this life is self-growth. So it's not that you don't have desires, It's not that you don't follow whatever you want, but then at the back of it, everything that you do is a means for self-growth. That is how it is in the Hindu tradition even today. Even today, everything is for self-growth. You don't do anything for the sake of itself. So education is for self-growth. And then what else? Employment is for self-growth. Because when you go to office, you learn so many things. To begin with, how not to behave. What not to say. What to say is important, but what not to say, even more important for a lot of people. Because what's the point of saying something and then saying, oh, I didn't mean it? I don't say it at all. It is nice. Then, after office, what happens? Marriage. Right? And
Not sure what that
yeah, Niyati, आके देखो इधर कुछ हो रहा है. क्या है? वो बार-बार आ रहा है.
That should be fine,
Yeah,
I
I
think.
don't know.
That should be fine.
Yeah, but if it comes again,
Oh,
then I will call you.
okay. I
Alright?
think that's because
Yeah.
the Wi-Fi is not secure.
Yeah, probably. So then, this is the situation. And after office, what happens? After job, marriage. That is also for self-growth. We have in the South India, a very beautiful ceremony in the marriage itself called Kashi Yatra, where the groom says, I'm not going to get married, I'm going to go off to Kashi. And as a young girl, when I was small, I used to go to some relative's house. I think I went to my uncle's wedding. And so I saw, and I said, what is this nonsense? Ye kya baat hai? How can you say you're going to marry this girl and you're running off? Not nice.
We not also we have not at the marriage at Upanayan side.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy says I want to go to
Yeah.
Kashi and Mama said no, please,
Yeah.
I'll get you married.
Yes. So the thing is, yeah, this is called Kashi Yatra. And maybe in different families because they follow different sutras. And so maybe it's done at different times. But the gist of it is this. The fellow says, first he says, I'll get married. And then at the last minute he says, I'm going off to Kashi. And then he walks northwards because from the standpoint of southern India, Kashi is north. So you go up. And then I was 4 or 5 years old. And so from a 5-year-old child's standpoint, kya dikhta hai? What do you see? You see the parents of the bride go running after him and buy him off with gifts. ये ले लो, एक छतरी देते हैं, give one umbrella, and then give one coconut, and give one wristwatch, and then bring him back. And then he says, oh, okay, ठीक है, I'll get married to your daughter. This is ridiculous. But actually,
it is insulting to a girl.
but it is not like this. इसके पीछे एक बहुत बड़ा रहस्य छिपा है. It's a very big and a beautiful meaning behind this, which you don't know because you see, I think that these rituals, they are just followed without understanding the depth of it.
Yeah.
But if you look at the mantras, which the parents are made to repeat, parents don't know the mantras. The Panditji makes them repeat it. But it's not about buying off the fellow and uske samne gidgidana, yo, please marry our daughter. No, it's not that at all. They don't even say, don't go to Kashi. This is the beauty of it. They say, please go to Kashi. We want you to go to Kashi. But please take our daughter with you who also wants to go to Kashi. The road to Kashi, this is all metaphorical, is very, very difficult to do on your own. Kashi represents moksha. North is moksha. Kashi is moksha. Kashi is liberation. And so suddenly the person has vairagya, the groom. And then he's told it is very difficult to do this on your own. So, Imam Kanyam Su Alankrita, this beautifully dressed bride, you please take with you. Because she also wants to go and you can support each other on the journey. This is the essence of the Hindu marriage. It is a means to an end. The end has nothing to do with the marriage. The end has to do with self-knowledge. The end has to do with liberation from samsara. So the marriage is a means to an end. If marriage becomes the end, it ends. The end. There you are. So it's a means to an end. Come here. You want to sit up? So you'll come more comfortable. Come.
It's a means to find the destination.
Yeah, because the destination is not marriage. The destination is not job.
Yeah.
The destination is not anything else. Destination is not children either. Children, if you have, they make sure you get moksha. Yeah. Definitely, they fast track. And how do they do? How do they fast track your journey to moksha? By pushing the buttons you never even thought you had. If any buttons need to be pushed and need to be found out, they know the secret locations of those buttons, especially when they become 13, 14, 15, teenage. Yes. So all this whole karma, this is what is karma yoga. Karma yoga means this is what it is. It is a life of which is totally dedicated to one's growth. And this is what Arjuna is told. So the way of life is given, the vision is given, or kya baki hai, what else is left? Say nothing, okay, nothing. So we can move on. Nothing is left. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita should have closed right then and there. It should have been a succinct 2-chapter document. How many chapters does it have? 18. Why? Because the fellow asks a question at the beginning of chapter 3. He hasn't stopped complaining. He was complaining in chapter 1, and then he shut up a little bit in chapter 2. Chapter 3, फिर से मुंह खोलता है. Our Arjuna. He asks again. And because in his mind, there is a fixation. He is a go-getter, Arjuna, and he represents everybody on earth timelessly. He thinks moksha is something to catch. This is the catch, conquer, kill mentality. This catch and kill mentality is something which is there in the psyche from 5,000 years ago. So actually you can feel good about oneself. One can feel good about oneself. Even Arjuna was competitive. Even Arjuna wanted all this. Even Arjuna was doing this. So when he's told of moksha, he wants to go catch, kill right now. And he thinks it's an object. So yes. And then that's the first mistake he has made in his understanding. The second mistake he makes is also an interesting mistake. He thinks that this moksha is connected to sannyasa in his mind. That if I quickly get into an orange dhoti, dhoti is rap, okay, yeah, not the music, okay, yeah. That's also called rap, a particular kind of music. Rap with a W in front of it. This is the one. So he thinks that if I wear orange, then I'm on the path to moksha. If I'm in other colors and if I'm not a sannyasi, then I will not get moksha. This is what his mind is, because that's what he was able to absorb because he was in such bad shape in chapter 1. Do you remember? Say yes, even if you don't want it. Make me feel good. Yes, you remember? Fantastic. Extra prasad for you at the end. So he is, he has made 2 mistakes. He thinks moksha is something that you have to go get, number 1. And number 2, he thinks that this is something that is that is equated to sannyasa. If I become a sannyasi, I will catch, kill, conquer quickly. So the chapter 3 begins with a complaint. Jayase chet. If you say, Jayasi chet, karmanaste, mata buddhir janardana, tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojasi chet keshava, vyavishreneva vakyena, buddhim mohayasi iva me. Ekam vada nishchitya, yena shreyoham apnuyam. This is, oh Krishna, this is too much for me. You're as though confusing me. You say, knowledge, karma binds, knowledge frees. And in those days, people connected to knowledge were mostly sannyasis. So that's why he equated sannyasa. And also sannyasa looked good because he didn't want to fight the war. He thought, okay, let me just go to Rishikesh and sit there. So he says, if karma leads to bondage, moksha is freedom, knowledge is freedom, moksha is freedom, then why, oh why are you making me? Why are you making me fight this terrible war? Why are you making me fight this terrible war? This question alone, this question leads to chapter 3. Otherwise, there would be no chapter 3. We would have gone home yesterday itself. The reason we are here today is because there is chapter 3. The answer to this whole question is in chapter 3. That is what it is. And so he says, you've got it wrong. This is how chapter 3 begins. Arjuna, you have made a very big mistake. You've got this whole thing wrong. And what is it that you have gotten wrong? You have misunderstood moksha. And in fact, there are 2 paths which have been given in the Upanishad. Which Upanishad, that also we can see. Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasyam idagam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha ma gridha kasya svidhanam. That is one particular path. Okay. I'll explain what it is. Then the next path is also given in the Upanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad. Kurvan eva iha karmani jijivishe chatagum samaha. This is the second path. So the first path, there are 2 ways to get moksha. 2 particular paths. The fact that moksha is gained through knowledge is not in question here, because the problem is self-ignorance, and self-knowledge is the antidote. That is not in question. The question is how to gain this knowledge. If one is ready, when one goes off to Kashi, does not come back. Does not come back at anybody's entreaties. First says, I will not get married, period, and then goes off to Kashi. Drops everything. Goes to Kashi, sits there. This is one path. And even if people are like that, in Uttar Kashi, there is one Kailas ashram. And there, many a brahmachari wannabe goes there. Goes there and says, Guru, I want this knowledge. Guru will not teach. Yeah. Guru will not teach. In Arsha Vidya, people teach, but everywhere else, people don't teach. Well, Guru will say, yeah, I want you to do something small for me. Anything. What do you want? This is a little bit, in the story of the 70s. This is what they did in the 70s. And then what do you want me to do? Uttar Kashi is where? Himalayas, high Himalayas. And Rameshwaram is where? Tip, or nearly the tip, southern tip of India. Pedal jao. Take Ganga water, go by foot from north to south, walking. And that Ganga water should also be carried properly. And then you bathe the Shivalinga in Rameshwaram with that water, bring sea water from there, and then bathe our ashram temple Shiva with that water. Bas, 3 baar. 3 times you do this. Then all the Upanishads will be yours. And this was a way of, what should I say? They didn't have any entrance exams. This was the entrance exam in those days. Those who made it learned. Otherwise, you can see so many scenarios. He goes to fill Ganga water. He sees the most beautiful thing he has ever seen in his whole life, also filling Ganga water on the other side. And he says, oh, where do you live? I want to go to your father and ask for your hand in marriage. Then he thinks of the Upanishad he would have studied and names his children Isha, Kena, Katha, after all the Upanishads. So there's one scenario like this, or he meets another brahmachari, they recognize each other because they are carrying pots of water. And they say, oh, which round? Second round? No, I'm still first round. How is it going there? Oh, the other brahmachari says, terrible. I think we both should start a business. Forget these gurus and all these things. Any which way you can go. So dropping everything is not very easy. The gurus also know this. The students also know this. And this is, of course, very, very few people are able to do that. This is called, Moksha Express. This is what it is. All you do is study. And whatever comes up, pain, fear, sorrow, etc., is taken care of. That's what it is. You resolve it. It's difficult. It's not easy. For most other people, the other one is recommended. So this one is called Sankhya Yoga. And then Sankhya Yogena Yoginam. And for these yogis who are ready, either you are ready in this life or you are ready in a previous life. Like Ramana Maharshi, etc. Why were they so advanced even as they were born? Like you take so many saints, Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, so many. How come they were so advanced? Because they did the homework in the last life. And so in this life, they are advanced, and then they can, they look to be very different from everybody else because they have done this homework in the last life. So then what do you do here? You take the next lifestyle. 2 parts means committed lifestyles. That's why they are called Nishtha. Loke asmin dvividha nishtha pura propta maya anagha. Anagha means, oh, you sinless one. What a nice way to call a student. And 2 kinds of lifestyles were told by me long ago. Where? In the Upanishads. First is, drop everything. It's you and the sky. You don't have any monthly stipend. You don't have any church or any monastery or anything supporting you. It's just you. That's all it is. Or you do whatever you want to do. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you want to do. But don't let go of this knowledge. That's what it is. Don't let go of the commitment to moksha, commitment to freedom, commitment to living liberated, living free of sorrow and pain and fear. Commit to that, and then you do whatever else you want to do. It's like the airport example we talk about all the time. So, if you are going to the airport, you have a lot of time, let's say, and then you say, oh, I think I'll go get something to eat. You stop by a store. Where are you going? Are you sure? Yeah. And then you buy something, you still find you have a lot of time. You go and pick up your laundry, or something you have given to the dry cleaners. Where are you going? Then you remember you have a long lost friend living near the
Airport.
And then so you visit them, and then they say, oh, I'll drop you off at the leave the car here. All the time, where is your mind? Airport, airport. You don't go to the grocery store and start shopping for the next 10 days. No, because you're going to the airport. You don't go to the dry cleaners and go there and do something. No, you don't live there. You are going to the airport. Even at the friend's house, you're going to the airport. Everywhere, when you're parking the car, you're going to the airport. That's how it is. Airport example works because you're taking off. This is also a certain kind of a taking off. See, these are the two lifestyles. And you have to, you can do this. But Krishna acknowledges that it's very, very difficult to be in one place without doing anything. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma kritu. Karyate hyavashak karma. Prakritihi jair gunaihi. Prakriti jaihi gunaihi. It is swabhavika. It is natural for the person to be restless. The restlessness is not the property of the Atma. Atma is very calm. The restlessness has to do with the Maya Shakti's prasad. What is that? The gunas. Rajas and tamas specifically. That is what makes one sloppy, makes one restless, makes one now restless, now sleepy, now angry. So such a person cannot sit still without doing anything even for a second. Always the person, he or she, will be restless. So therefore, use this restlessness to contribute to your world. This is Lord Krishna's advice. Because in any case, you're not sitting still. Even if I paid you, Arjuna, you cannot sit still even for a minute. You cannot sit still. You are absolutely useless at sitting still. Already you're squirming. Even if you're asked to sit still, you're squirming here, looking there, doing this, doing that. And so therefore, employ this restlessness for your own good, self-growth, and for the good of others, because you have come here with a certain set of talents. You have something to offer. And even if there is a person who has very low self-confidence and says, I have nothing at all to offer, they also have something to offer. Absolutely, they have something to offer. So therefore what? Keep doing. Keep using your skills for the greater good. And if you don't know the meaning of greater good, just look at nature. The mango tree does not eat the mango fruits. It is producing and the mango tree does not say, this person is selfish. Every day he is taking so many mangoes. This lady is so bad. She is taking so many things. Everybody takes. Even the parrot comes and makes a hole in the fruit with the beak and siphons off the juice. Everybody eats. The river flows just for the sake of irrigating. And you see that the entire nature is in the form of a cosmic dance of giving. This is what he says. The third chapter is very, very beautiful for this reason. Devan, we are up to now verse 10. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramavapsyatha ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdattan apradayayibhyah yo bhukte stena eva saha. Very beautiful. Just look at this cosmic dance. It's not just a cosmic dance, it's a cosmic ecological dance. It's a dance where everything is in balance. Until, of course, we put our footprint there. Everything is in balance, everything is contributing. And just because the tree is giving, just because the river is flowing, just because the sun is shining and the crops are growing, doesn't mean we can take them for granted. We have to nurture them. You water the plant, then only it becomes a tree. No. And even if you don't water the rain waters, but even for the rain to be there, there has to be some conducive circumstances and situation. So there is a cosmic dance and you have to follow. Cha, cha, cha. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You follow this dance because it's a beautiful dance where you learn how to give, you learn how to care, you learn how to share, especially when you don't want to. No, this is mine. I really want to eat it. I really want to enjoy it all by myself. But you learn to give. Despite yourself, you learn to share, you learn to care. And there is again self-growth for you. And in opening up your heart, you have initiated a certain compliance to this cosmic dance, which is a manifestation of Bhagavan. It's not a mandate of Bhagavan, this dance, it's a manifestation of the Lord and the goddess. And then you are going with the flow. And there is a lot of happiness when you do what is meant to do. What you are meant to do when you do, there is so much happiness. There is a lack of conflict, there is peace. And this way, parasparam bhavayantaha, nurturing one another, that nature, and your own nature. Human nature is just an extension of nature. Or you can take it the other way around. Nature is an extension of human nature. And so in this way, we learn to go with the flow. And this is how your own self-growth is there. And then the good of everybody is ensured. But then there's always a 1%, who says, what if I don't do this? Then kya hoga? What will happen if I don't do this? Why should I do this? I need not do this. What will happen if I don't do this? To that, Lord Krishna says, if you don't participate in this dance, taihi dattan apradayayibhyah. So you take whatever everybody gives. You take what the trees give, you take what the rivers give, you take the light of the sun without doing Surya Namaskar. And you just keep taking. And you don't participate in this dance. Such a person is known as a thief, a hoarder, stena. Stena means thief. And such a person who only lives for himself or herself, and at the most, the family. Sometimes even that's a stretch for some people. Family will be there, but they'll say, oh, I want just my comforts. Other people look out for themselves. Such people, they are causing a disruption in the world. They are disruptive influences, because of which there is, some kind of a disturbance is created. And the whole life is learning the lesson that you are not alone. Even if you live alone, you're not alone, because there are trees, there are rocks, there is water, there are the 5 elements. So you are never really alone. And so learning how to live in this mutual dance of give and take is for the greater good of the society. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. This is part of Karma Yoga. To do things you don't want to do. And why is it that you have to do things you don't want to do? But because that's how it is. You can't always do as you like. As I said yesterday, you have to learn to like whatever there is to do. This is self-growth. Sometimes you have to live with that discomfort. Do whatever it is, whatever it takes to get through the day, to get through this difficult situation. You do what you have to do. And so, Lord Krishna gives his own example. He says, look at me. What is it that I have to gain? Nothing. Because I am Bhagavan. I don't have to gain anything. What is it that I have to lose by doing something? Nothing. So, but I still continue to do. If I don't do, I'll be a bad influence on all the people who look up to me. Oh, just yesterday, I offed Kamsa. And before that, some other demon I was taking care of. And before that, I was a child and I was entertaining everybody with my buttery antics. I was doing all these things. Why? He gives a beautiful, important verse in the third chapter. Yadyad acharati shresthaha tattad eva itaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Shrestha means an exalted person, a person who commands some leadership in society. Or maybe within your own family, it doesn't matter. How that person behaves, other people also follow. So these are the trend setters. Whether it's a Twitter trend or a YouTube trend or whatever it is, doesn't matter. These are the trend setters. And on the trend setters' shoulders is a very important responsibility of leading their life well, because how they lead their life is how other people also lead their life. So if one is lucky enough to be a leader, to influence certain people, whether in the family or in the community or in the world, one better know how to behave. And if one is not doing what they are supposed to, then everybody else will do this. That's why Arjuna says, I also keep very, 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 very busy. Why do I keep so busy? I keep very busy because I want to make sure that all the people, I don't want to destroy the people. Upahanyam imaf prajaha. Otherwise, I would just destroy the people. Even though I have nothing. Na anavaptam avaptavyam. I don't have anything ungained that is to gain. I don't have anything that I have gained which I want to get rid of. In fact, nothing is achieved by my doing something, but I continue to do. So too Arjuna. Loka sangrahaya karma kuru. Do whatever it is for your own self-growth and for the benefit of others. Live for this in this way. Live this kind of a balanced life where you help others as well. And then, of course, Arjuna has another question. I want to do that. ... But so what? You want to do that, but what happened? Things come in the way. I keep doing wrong things. I keep saying wrong things. I don't want to say wrong things. I don't want to do wrong things. But I keep doing them anyway. But he doesn't say, I keep doing them. It's just like sometimes in India, this is very common. People will go consult a doctor. And, especially they won't go to the doctor's office. They will just meet the doctor at a party. And then they want to consult. And they don't want to say, I have skin disease and I'm scratching myself. And what will they say? I have a friend who has a terrible skin disease. Can you please tell what to do? Poor doctor barely knows this person. And that to their imaginary friend. How will they say? What will they say? So that's how Arjuna also asks. Supposing somebody is there, he's actually asking about himself, but he's embarrassed. So he says, supposing somebody is there who, how? Why is it that the person does wrong things? Adichannapi, baladiva niyojitah, as though by force one is made to do these things. Adichannapi vashreya. Atha kena prayuktena papam chariti purushaha. Why do people do papa? They know it is wrong. Papa means wrongdoing. Please do not translate papa as sin. Because that will be the only sin, I tell you. Papa means difficult situations due to going against dharma in this life or other lives. So why do people do wrongdoing? Why do people go against dharma? Even though we know this, not to do this. Kena prayuktena. Who is forcing them? Baladiva niyojita, as though somebody is being forced to do the wrong thing. I know I don't want to do this, but yet somehow I have gone and done this. Why? And the Lord says, you know what? There's only two things. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava mahashanaha mahapapma vidhi enam vairinam. Kama is there. Kama means what? Desire. Not just desire. Desire which has gone out of hand. Binding desire. Desire that you cannot manage. That comes in the way of who you are. And when that desire is unfulfilled, it turns into anger. In fact, the cause of anger is thwarted desire. And so then what happens as a result? Then you have these two, Kama and Krodha. They are called this Kama is called Mahashana. Means has the one with a orangutan appetite, huge appetite, keeps on eating into your peace of mind. And it is born of Rajas, imbalance of Rajas. Think of this as inimical to your growth. And then the third chapter ends with a very wise teaching. And what is that? Jahi Shatrum Mahabaho Kama Krodham Durasadam. Durasadam means difficult to conquer. Forget the battlefield. Forget this battle you have to face outside. This battle is just a reflection of the raging battle within, between what you want to do and what you have to do. That is the battle between dharma and adharma. What you have to do is dharma. What you want to do is adharma. This dharma sankat which is there inside, that is what you have to conquer. These inner enemies called raga and dvesha have to be conquered. They have to be pacified. Conquered means you win over them. That is what you have to do. And so the fourth chapter has got many topics. How to win over these basically is this. But before that we have what is the famous Avatara Vada. The fourth chapter starts with Avatara Vada. Avatara, I don't have to explain. Since that movie of those blue people came out. 2 movies. I haven't seen them. But I just saw some posters. Blue, funny looking people. Big ears and funny hair, funny look. So chapter 4. Avatar, the way of Krishna, can be retitled. And so there, Lord Krishna talks about, he makes a promise. There are many verses in the Bhagavad Gita that talk, that give a prophecy or a promise. So first he says that this knowledge has been lost. He's lamenting 5,000 years ago that people are not interested in Vedanta. And so I don't know what he would say if he came down. So he says, Sakali neha mahata yogo nashtaf parantata. And he says, you know what? You've had a lot of births, Arjuna. I've also had a lot of incarnations. And there's a slight difference. I know all of them. Your births and my incarnations I know, but you don't know any of them. That's the difference. And here I am here in human form. I'm here, I'm walking the earth in human form as Bhagavan. Why? To bring to task the people who have gone away from dharma. Whenever there is a neglect of dharma, when dharma is trampled upon, then time has come for me to come. In any avatara form, and there are 10, and we don't just include human beings, it's also animals, half man, half lion, everything is there. And those are what are called Purna avatars. There's also Amsha avatara, half avatara, small Devi avatara is called Amsha avatara. There are so many avatars. And so I want to teach a lesson to all these demonic beings, Danavas, Asuras, bring them to task, and then free the world for people following dharma, and protect the world for people following dharma. This is what it is. And he says, that is why I am here. And I promise to be here again in a different form. Whenever the dharma-adharma balance becomes off kilter, meaning when there is too much adharma in the world and very little dharma, then I incarnate myself. How? With the help of Maya. My own Maya Shakti. I incarnate myself. So the fact that the next avatara, which is the next avatara that's supposed to come, Kalki. Yeah. Oh, Kalki baat. So the fact that it has not come, that means we are doing very well. Dharma is still there. Even though we say, oh no, what has happened? So avatara is very interesting. What is this avatara? So how are people born because of karma? How is the Lord as though born? Not because of karma. There is no karma. What is the cause of birth? The cause of birth has to be karma, but here it's a body made of other people's wishes, other people's prayers become the karma for this body. So Lord Krishna's body is a prayer body. Everybody saying, Trahimam, Pahimam, are you going to just watch this? Come on, come and do something. Help, save me. Do this, do that. It's a karma body. That's why it goes. And in that way, it is different from other bodies. Because all other bodies are born because of their own karma. Bhagavan's body is as though born, even though we just celebrated Rama's birthday. Today we are celebrating Hanumanji's birthday, and then we'll celebrate Krishna's birthday a few months hence. But still, this is just for fun, so that we can eat good things. That's all. Because all their birthdays are our birthdays. But really, the Lord is unborn. As though born in human form means other people's karma. What karma? Good karma. Because they are praying. They are praying for redemption from certain kind of tyrannical beings, Duryodhana and the likes. And so therefore, that is the first difference from all other human beings. All other human beings have their own karma to thank because of whatever body they are given, whatever diseases they will get, everything. How they are born, how they will die, everything is already there. And then other people's karma gives rise to this body. Again, it is finite because how much can you pray? How much can you ask? And then that's the first difference. The second difference is a person who is born, a human being, will be having two kinds of ignorance. Self-ignorance and ignorance about the whole universe. Baby doesn't know. These are my parents, even that it doesn't know. Anybody who holds it, it will come. After a while, it starts to know, oh, this is my house, this is my family, this is my parents, these are my parents, this is my toy. I must not share any of these things with others. That slowly comes. But before that, it is not there. So these two kinds of ignorances are not there for Bhagavan. No ignorance of the world outside because, that Bhagavan only created everything. And that all knowledge alone creates, no ignorance outside, and then no self-ignorance at all. So what is this life as Krishna? It's like playing a leela. It's like playing a role in the drama lifelong. It's like somebody forgot to take off the crown and the person is keeping on playing that role without boredom and without any kind of slackness. And with total joy and abandon because this is just fun for them. So even when Rama is crying and becomes the first tree hugger in history and says, have you seen my Sita? Have you seen my Sita? Have you seen my Sita? He's not affected inside. He's making a show of the sadness. He's demonstrating the sadness that is appropriate for the occasion in the human body. That is what it is. This is the two ways in which the avatara differs from the human being. So the avatara in the Mandukya Upanishad is described in a very nice way. Ubhayatah prajnaha. Prajna means awareness. Ubhayatah means is aware, self-aware, and then aware of the world as well. Usually that awareness is not there for most people. They know they exist, but they don't know that they are Satchidananda. Bhagavan knows both. And so this is the very important topic in the 4th chapter. And then also, going from the 3rd chapter, then we are given the bad news that self-growth cannot happen without sacrifice. It's nice to say self-growth, it's nice to say, Acha, theek hai, I want to grow. But growth happens when you give up something or the other. Usually things that you like. People go to Kashi. This is what in India there is a pratha. There is a kind of a custom. You go to Kashi and give up something and come back. Presumably you should give up chocolate cake, okay? Or ice cream. But people go to Kashi and give up Karela and come back. Cheating. Karela means bitter gourd. That is cheating. I know many people who go all the way to Varanasi. And then all the relatives, friends, what did you give up? Karela. Neem leaves. Who is eating neem leaves? Who is eating neem leaves? Even if there is a toothpaste called neem toothpaste, they buy around it. Nothing else around it, that one is left right there. So, and this going and giving up is a story of life. Up till now, we were kind of sailing along with the Bhagavad Gita and saying, this is sounding very good. I can do this. This is easy. Yeah. Everything is for self-growth. I can tell that to myself when I'm having ice cream. Yeah, this is for self-growth. Sideways. I can rationalize it. I can do this, I can do that, no problem. But chapter 4 tells another slightly uncomfortable truth, that this self-growth requires a certain sacrifice. When you give up, you grow. Because when you give something up, then the pangs of some, longing, regret. Oh, did I do the right thing? I shouldn't have given that up. And now, even if it's just losing an argument, oh, now the other person will think of themselves as really too big, and then they will come and sit on my head, lifelong. Self-growth happens when you give up. And you can start in small ways. Lose an argument graciously. Even if you know that they are wrong, why do you have to prove it? There is Google, let them find out. But they'll never find out. Let them not find out. What is it to you? When they find out, they'll have a face palm moment. It's good. You don't have to tell them you are wrong. If you can, because you are within your rights, let us say. Or I'm entitled to tell them I'm wrong. Theek hai, batao. Let's see how that goes for you. Oh, they feel very defensive. Of course they'll feel defensive. Of course the person is going to feel defensive if you go in their face and tell them you are wrong, your father is wrong, your mother is wrong. In fact, your whole ancestry is wrong. They're not going to keep quiet. They'll feel defensive because they're feeling attacked. Instead, look at the different scenario, what is possible. You see, yes. This we learn from our gurus only. Yeah. Okay. And then, let them win the argument. No, but then I'll become the loser. In whose eyes? It's actually a win-win situation. Because the discomfort of letting somebody win an argument has given rise to self-growth. The discomfort because you have given in, and that discomfort has given rise to self-growth. It's the win situation. And where is the second win? They feel very happy that you have let them win. They say, oh, very nice. They respect you more. And then even if they're resenting you going to Gita class, afterwards they will only start saying, please go to your Gita class. You're getting a little irritable. Please go. Go to your retreat. Because they see the changes in you. They are also benefiting. This is what is the beauty of this kind of a growth. It's a win-win situation. And the 4th chapter details all the ways in which people give things up and how there is a history of, in the tradition, there is a history of giving stuff up in order to grow. So some people do pranayama. It's again a disciplined life. You can't just eat what you want. Otherwise, you'll be out of breath. Pranayama is not just, breathing. Only we know one kind. There are many other kinds. That's the easiest one. And that too people do without kumbhaka and rechaka, means the holding the breath between the exhales and the inhalations. So 16, up to the count of 16, you're supposed to hold it. And for that, you have to give up a heavy meal. Then only you can do pranayama, otherwise you'll feel like you're dying. And so like this, so many things. So some people pranayama, some people do meditation, some people do this, some people do. He gives example of all the yogis. And then he says that this is what? Because therefore karma yoga leads to this kind of a giving up. And in this giving up, there is growth, which is a preparation for this knowledge. So when the 5th chapter comes in, actually the Bhagavad Gita had one more chance to end. When? At the end of chapter 4. Why is there chapter 5? He asked a question. Same question. Yeah. Same thing. I haven't come here in 4 years, correct? Yeah. But still, the same people will ask the same question. Each time. Same question. And what was the question? The question was the same question asked, which was asked in the beginning of the 3rd chapter. Knowledge frees, karma binds, yet you are asking me to fight this terrible war. So now if he asks the same question, he'll be kicked out. So he has to be a little clever and ask it slightly differently. He says, I want to know about you. You talked about giving up. That reminds me of sannyasa. So I think it will be nice. Sannyasa is so wonderful. Can you talk about sannyasa? That's how the chapter 5 begins. Sannyasa yoga. Karma sannyasa yoga. All this giving up. How is it related to sannyasa? What is sannyasa? Meaning, that was the question. But meaning, can I take sannyasa and not fight this war? That is what his real meaning is. Gudha abhisandhi, it's called. Hidden meaning is there. So then, Lord Krishna, first thing he tells him, Sannyaasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptuma yogatah yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena adhigacchati. My dear fellow, you can't bypass karma yoga. Sannyasa tu, whereas sannyasa is dukkham aptum, very difficult to gain. Ayogatah, for the one who is not equipped with karma yoga, equipped with the spirit of giving, equipped with the spirit of living for others, equipped with the spirit of sharanagati, bhakti to Bhagavan, Guru, everything. Sannyasa is not easy to gain. But the one, if you equip yourself with karma yoga, then it will be very easy to go to sannyasa. Because what he's asking is, can I just go to sannyasa? It's like saying, can I do a PhD without a high school diploma? Short answer, no. In fact, one becomes the means for the other. So karma yoga is needed. And this is what is needed. And then he talks about chapter 5 and chapter 6 are connected together. And he says that the person who of this knowledge is, he has to, one more small bad news is there, has to overcome all the binding desires. Let go, let go, let go. You start with whatever you like and you let go of that, you let go of that, you let go of that. And each time you let go, you grow. Each time you let go, you grow. Each time you hold on, there is kind of a little bit of a 2 steps back, 1 step forward feeling. Then again you come back and let go, you're back on track. And then this kind of a life has a certain maxim that people follow, which is beautifully explained in chapter 5. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonaya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. Buddhaha means the person of knowledge. The person of knowledge, Arjuna, remember, does not revel in 2 kinds of things. Samsparshajaha bhogaha. So, those enjoyments that are contacted from the sense organs and the sense objects, and those that are other than you, and those that have a beginning and an end. If you take them to be infinite, then there will be nobody else more sorrowful than you. Because they have a beginning. Anything that has a beginning also has what? A big end. They are dukkha yonaya, means they are the birth canal of sorrow. So when you fall in love with something, I can't live without this object. That means what? You are superimposing the infinite on the finite. What you want is the infinite that happens to be you. And so therefore, this has to be understood properly. Look at the world objectively. Look at things, people, situations objectively, and then lead your life. This is how the yogis lead their life. The yogis don't revel in things that come to an end, thinking themselves to be infinite, thinking those objects to be infinite, because everything is finite. If you know this, then you will not come under this pitfall. And he describes a little more about the yogis. How did the yogi become a yogi? Everybody was a bhogi to begin with. What is the journey from bhogi to yogi? And that's a beautiful and wonderful segue for meditation, a life given to meditation in order to have a say over the ways of the mind. Dhyana yoga. That's how the bhogi became a yogi. Learn to sit quietly, learn to be contemplative within. Did not want to always fill up space with activity, chatter, internal chatter. It's just all just receding. Why? Because of the 4 chapters of growth. If one has practiced what is said in the last 4 chapters, then you are there. You may not be wanting to meditate the whole day, but you are comfortable enough to just sit with yourself without just always either being driven to do something or being driven by inner worry and fear. This is the yogi. And so the segue just beautifully goes to meditation. And the meditation here is described as Saguna Brahma Vishaye Manasa Vyapara. Mental activity whose subject matter of which is Bhagavan. If you just said mental activity, then even worry is mental activity. That's not meditation. You sit and worry. No. So therefore, it is mental activity who is centered on Bhagavan. But then Bhagavan is not an object of thought. It is the truth of yourself. So that's why you cannot say, I'm going to think of Bhagavan. It's the worst setup in the whole universe. I'm going to think of God. Next thought, God. Third thought, God. Now I feel odd. Fourth thought, dog. Suddenly you saw one dog. You saw your pet dog and you started to think of dog. Then you feel guilty. Oh, I didn't think of God. I'm thinking of dog. Dog is non-separate from God. Okay, yeah, because God is not an object. It is the truth of you. So in the meditation, it is more like having a name or a form to relate to, knowing that it is like a tree relating to the forest. The tree is already connected to the forest, but in the meditation, this relationship is highlighted in the form of a mantra. So the mantra is just so that you can be doing something meaningful. And whenever the mind goes to dog or anything, you gently bring it back. Let it go, because if it doesn't go, it's not meditation. If there are no distractions, it is not meditation. Distraction will be there. Then each time it is distracted, you bring it back. Each time it goes, you bring it back. Each time it goes, you bring it back. This is meditation. And for that, certain nice things are given. What is given? Where to sit. Na ati utthritam. Not very high up. If you sit really high up, like on a compound wall, You try. You sit there, perch yourself on a compound wall and close your eyes. And the thought that will come is not Om Namah Shivaya. Am I falling down? Na ati nijam. So if you go and dig a pit and sit there, you'll be sharing space with creepy crawlies. That is their place. And then it says, you have a nice asan. And in the ancient time, chiladina. Chila means the deer skin. Deer skin, because the deer is a gentle, peaceful animal. It's not aggressive. So the idea is sitting on the deer skin. Tiger skin, no. That is reserved for Goddess Durga and Lord Shiva. Okay? Yeah. That's already taken. Deer skin is for you. And so the deer skin brings that all those qualities that are dear to you. That's why. The peacefulness, everything. Then there are very detailed instructions on how to meditate. Samam kaya shiro grivam, dharayan achalan sthiraha. The whole body is in one straight line, head, neck and back are in a single straight line. And eyes are closed, but you are as though looking at the tip of your nose. Sampreksha nasikagram swam. And then the eyeballs behind the closed eyes are not restless. They are directed towards the tip of the nose. Dishascha anavalokayan. Oh, there is a noise here. Oh, somebody came here. You don't keep moving. You don't keep looking. Just focused. Then prana panau samau kritva. Nasabhyantara charinam. You have some kind of you're aware of the breathing. It's equal. Exhalation and inhalation are equal. Very nice. So then what happens? Then there's a very important step and a very strange step. Sparshan bahyan bahihi kritva. Meaning, keep the external world outside. What a strange injunction. External world means what? That which is already outside. Jo outside hai. How to keep that which is outside, outside. Here we learn that a lot of things get under the skin. Even there is an expression, getting under the skin. All the pains, sorrows, irritations of the day, everything is under the skin. And why are there irritations? Why are there pains? Why are there sorrows? They go back to the early childhood. That's what it is. They go back to the primary caregivers. That's what. And so, either out of worry or out of too much love or something like that, there are in fact two sets of parents. One objective outside and then one that are internalized in the form of anxiety, worry, longing, unfulfilled longings, unfulfilled and unfulfillable. What is the poor mother going to do when you keep thinking that, oh, she gave, more things to the younger sibling? What is she going to do? She had to do what she had to do. She thought you were independent and you were okay, but then you wanted her. But she gave more attention. That thing, even now, if she showers you with love, that time she neglected me, that feeling is there. It's not the fault of the mother. It's not the fault of the father. It's how the child's brain, it's not even your fault. It's how the child's brain internalized information when the brain itself was not developed. So therefore, there are always two sets of parents, one internalized in the form of longings, in the form of pain, in the form of sorrow, and the other ones that are external, however they are. So we keep these internal parents, we put them out before meditating. How do you put them out? By giving them the freedom to be who they are. You acknowledge this is how they are. And if they are no longer in the world, this is how they were. This is how it is. Even anybody in your life right now, this is how they are. Because God knows you've tried to change them and you haven't succeeded. Not for want of effort, okay? This is how they are. Because they can't be otherwise. You can't change them. Let them be however they are. And when you look at it this way, then you own up your own longings rather than putting it on them. This is how they are. Oh, but they're incapable of loving me. Okay, theek hai. This is how they are. They're incapable of loving me how I want to be loved. Okay. Yeah. This is how they are. Give them the freedom to be who they are. And then you own up that longing as your own lack. It has nothing to do with them. Some samskara. Somebody said, what is samskara? I said, samskar or the other. In this context. Some ancient pain, something, either this life, other life. Somebody was asking last time, what to do with other life? First focus on this life. This life itself, there's plenty of raw material here. And so when that is taken out of the equation, then the meditation becomes much more easy. You let go, and then if you can't let go, you pray to be in a place of acceptance of that which you cannot change. You pray to have that grace, to know what you can change and what you cannot change. What is the difference? It's like that beautiful prayer. What is it called? Serenity prayer. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what you do. You pray. And then Lord Krishna says, with this kind of a meditation and this kind of a background in taking care of this internal Kurukshetra, the field of pain and sorrow, taking care of this, what do? You grow into a being who understands, I am not the agent of action. Pashyan Shrinvan Swapan Shvasan Pralapan Visrujan Grindhan Unmishan Nimishan Ati. Whether I'm eating, drinking, lamenting, walking, talking, sleeping, it is just happening. I am just a witness to all this. So the meditation increases the witnessing and gives inner space to watch all the pains and sorrows that may be there without getting entangled in them. This is very nice, very beautiful. And then the 6th chapter, he wanted to end. Who? Lord Krishna. He thought he'll have a tea break. He thought he'll have some chai. Arjuna said, I have a question. Again, I have a friend who has this problem. Ayati shraddhayopetaha yoga chalita manasaha. I have a friend, supposing somebody, hypothetically, ayatihi means the one who did not put enough effort to practice meditation, to practice karma yoga, to even study Vedanta, did not put enough effort. Shraddhaya upetaha, had a lot of trust in this way, but did not put enough effort. Ayatihi means less effort. Alparthe nanj. And so put less effort. Kangatim tata gacchati. What will be that person's fate? Oh Lord, oh Krishna. Chinnabhramiva naschati kim. Will the person's all this effort, even the little effort they have put, he's thinking of himself. Yeah. And the arrows were zinging by. Many times I missed what you said. Sometimes the mind went somewhere. Sometimes I had cried so much I went off to sleep in the middle of chapter 3. So somebody who might be like this, full of Shraddha, but did not put the requisite effort. In other words, I have listened to these 6 chapters Suppose I don't get it this time around, and then I have to be born again. What will happen to such a jiva? Chinnabhram iva nashyati kim? Nashyati means, will the person's all the effort put, even though I recognize it is less effort, but even that effort I want it to be credited. But will it become a debit? Will all that knowledge go like the fog in the sunshine? Meaning, should I pay attention to chapter 7 to 18? Or should we not even bother here? Because if this is not going to help me continue in the next life, what use is this knowledge? Because some of us are dense. Some of us need another turn. And very compassionately, Lord Krishna gives the truth. Says no. Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashtha Abhijayate Athava Yoginam Eva Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. Paurva, this Paurva Dehikam, and the thread from the last life will be picked up in this life. So if you are here listening to Bhagavad Gita today, that means you had definitely been listening in the next life. You might have fallen asleep, but now you are waking up. That is the idea. Advaitam, Pumsam Advaita Vasana. There is in the Viveka Chudamani also it is said that the desire for non-duality comes from previous lives also. There is a certain grace operating. And then you look in among other things, you look in the horror scope. You look in the fifth house, Purva Punya house, where the Punya, the good merits from the last life are there. And it will say that there is a certain planets and certain aspects and everything when they are seen as a predilection to be interested in this kind of a knowledge. It is there. So that means you had studied it in the last life as well. Otherwise, it's impossible to sit here and listen. I mean, who's interested in what is happening in chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3? And so he says, definitely you will pick up the thread. In fact, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe. You will be born into a rich household. Rich means they have enough. They don't need you to be the breadwinner. Meaning you can go for this knowledge. You can have enough leisure to go for this knowledge. And you can do whatever you want, but they don't need to rely on you in order to fulfill their needs. Shuchina means internal purity, Shaucha, which is going to be described again in chapter 13. A very important quality. Inner, freedom. The family is easygoing. The family has good values. And they have instilled that in you. That is what you will pick up the thread. And when you pick up the thread, you will do this. You will do a very important connection. You may not know the Upanishad. You will have to study it. But when you study it, you'll pick it up very fast. You will have that kind of a connection, the clarity, everything. Pujya Swamiji used to always say that when his teacher taught him the Mundaka Upanishad, he felt he already knew it. He felt he had studied it before. It was amazing to hear that. So like this, there is a deja vu. There is some kind of a connection and a thread will be picked up. So long as you are able to keep sorrow at bay. How to do that? Come tomorrow at 3 to Chris's house. Oh, tomorrow is at 7? Day after tomorrow is at 3. Yeah, come tomorrow at 7 to Chris's house and find out. Om Purnamadash Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namah. Thank you. You paid such good attention. Any questions? Yes. Tell me.
Like Arjuna.
Yes. Tell.
that self growth, because what is the self growth? Is it to do the karma yoga desireless?
No, not desireless. Have the desires, but don't let them carry you. You carry them.
Or be aware of our divinity self, or it is the package of everything.
No, you can't be. See, being aware of oneself as Bhagavan means that is exposure to Vedanta. Self-growth is preparation for Vedanta.
Preparation for
Yeah. Be the witness of all that is happening and at the same time grow to be more accommodative, more compassionate, less reactive. That is what.
So it is more like mind, like be aware what the mind.
Yeah, the mind is not a whipping boy.
Yes.
Yeah, it is not the mind, it is the whole thing. So it's you, the ahankara, which is owning up the mind. All this is there. So you can't say it's just the mind. So basically, be aware of growing into a more compassionate, less reactive, more accommodative, more objective, less demanding, less judgmental person. That's who you are. So you uncover that, you discover that more and more. That is self-growth. That is emotional maturity. And sakshita, sakshi bhava, being the witness rather than the participant in samsara. That is also another aspect of self-growth. Having inner space. Yes.
First thing, that's a miracle. Something that happened miracle today. That at home, when I sit, after 15 minutes, I need a back support.
Yeah. But today you look at that. Yeah.
So there is no need. What happened?
That's amazing.
This is a miracle.
Wonderful. Happy to hear that. Yeah.
But at home, it's not because of my family, you know. Master, that once I was attending a seminar like this, you know, so the speaker, he answered only a one slogan. Smarana Muktva Antakale cha Mameva. Smarana Muktva Antakale.
8th chapter, yeah.
So, which means that that at the last stage, if you remember,
Yeah, but we don't know where the last stage is.
yeah. So then he gives the example of Ajamil, you know, Ajamil.
Ajamila, yes.
So, but I was having a problem of thinking. So when I went back home and started looking, you know, so in the same Gita chapter, after 3 slokas, Bhagavan Krishna also says that Tasmad Sarvesa Kale. That means saying that you do both, not just, but then in slokas 2, he goes even further and says that Ataha Chetam Tom Imam Dharmayam Sangramam Na Karisyasi. Swadharma Kirti Hitva Papam Avyasyasi.
Papam avapsyasi.
Sorry, because my not correct. So the thing that just a chanting slok, because you can't take one slok and make some conclusion, you know, you have to see the whole picture. And then Arjun said that I'm becoming sannyasi, but in one sloka, Bhagavan says, Anasrita karam phalam, karyam karam karoti, sa sannyasi cha yogi nir agnir cha akriya. So he's saying that this is a yogi, not just having a robe and.
That's what we're talking. We're talking about growing from bhogi to yogi.
But in
What is your question?
No, question is coming that so ultimately in one sloka, Krishna is comparing different pathways. You see,
There's only 2 parts. Different parts, no, 2 parts.
But what I'm saying, sloka says, maybe I'm understanding wrongly that Seyo hi jnanam abhyasa, jnanada dhyanam visistate, jnanada karma phal tyagas, tyagas chantira.
12th chapter, he says if you're not able to do jnana, do jnana. If you're not able to do that, at least do karma phala tyaga. Like this, he's given the least possible situation for anybody who is wanting to grow. that is not the ideal thing. It is, like supposing if somebody says, if the doctor says, like, you please walk every day of the week. If you can't walk every day of the week, at least walk 3 days of the week. If you can't walk 3 days of the week, at least walk once a week. So then that we cannot take that as the doctor is giving many choices and pathways. I can walk once a week, I can walk twice a week, I can walk. No, the doctor is saying walk every day of the week. If you can't, then I'm giving for those who can't. This is another kind of a modified alternative. This is another. Look, if you can't walk at all, do water aerobics. If you can't do that, then sit at home and keep rolling your ankles. But that doesn't mean that sit at home is the ideal thing. That is a gradation, because in the Bhakti Yoga chapter, 12th chapter that you're talking about, it's not a prescription. It is a prescription for those who say, it is too much for me, I cannot do. Jnanam, I cannot follow. Okay, at least you do this. Tyagat Shanti Anantaram. Oh, like, okay, you can do get this. Have some little space. Have some little inner peace. It's like just like when people come to me and say, I can't meditate. I say, okay, do 1 minute meditation. Acronym for which is Om. O-M. Yeah. So that's what he's saying. He's not saying there are many paths.
Thank you for this clarification, because I was always confused,
Yeah,
you know.
it is
So, in
confusing.
the end, when Lord Krishna said that Sarve Dharmani Parityaja Ekam Savam. So I thought that Krishna and Arjuna understood, but many people may think that come to my shelter means come and touch my feet and say, I'm your, you know. But Arjuna understood that what he had said to me so far, I need to act. So he says that ultimately Arjuna agrees that Nast Moha Smriti Lapyada.
Yes. Parishye Vatanam Tava.
So he said, I will do what you say.
Correct.
So that means that and what he is going to do is Yuddha. Dharam Yuddha.
No. What I will do as you say means I will follow my duty, and which means right now to fight this war in order to grow and in order to gain this knowledge. That's what he said.
See, that's the place I didn't understand. See,
That's what he said. It's not about fighting and doing. It's a moksha shastra. That's what it's about.
so finally, question is that can we get moksha by only chanting? Can we attain moksha by only doing karma yoga?
No,
And can we do moksha without escaping karma yoga?
you can't get moksha by karma yoga. You can't get moksha by escaping karma yoga either. Karma yoga is like wearing a tuxedo. Okay. And then after wearing a tuxedo, you have to go out. You can't stay at home. People will make fun. What are you doing? Why are you wearing tuxedo in your own house? They will say, are you having a formal function? No. Are you getting married? No. Are you going to a wedding? No. I'm just wearing it because I feel like. People will make fun. So Karma yoga is like wearing a tuxedo. You are nicely equipped. And that with that equipped, you are equipped with a preparation for this knowledge. Then you have to fulfill this knowledge. You have to gain this knowledge.
Thank you.
Knowledge helps.
Thank
Karma yoga is a step to gaining this knowledge.
Many times it's not easy to understand
Yeah,
these
of
things,
course,
you know. Thank you so much.
Lalji has been
Yeah,
waiting patiently. Yes.
Yeah, I little bit about in one of the chapters, I'm little bit jumping maybe ahead. Lord Krishna says once to do the right karma. The right karma, I think it is chapter 16 or so. So what are those right karmas?
I don't know which chapter no, that is 16th chapter is Daivasuri Sampatti.
Yeah.
So that is what is that called? In the popular translation, godly and devilish acts.
But he says the people should do the right karma.
Don't be like an asura person. Don't be like a demonic. I want this, I'm going to grab this, I'm going to have this, I'm going to take this, I'm going to do this. No. That's it. Right karma means that which is in keeping with dharma. That is what it is. Yes.
The karma body,
Yeah, see,
other people's karma.
yeah, see, one is born because of one's own karma. Avatara is as though born because of other people's prayer. Please help. Oh God, what are you doing? That prayer is karma, action. And the result of that action is a magical body which knows itself and knows everything. Yeah. That is Avatara body. Yes.
So, but is Krishna still doing?
Krishna still what?
He's still doing, even though he's a karma body.
Yeah, in his life he did so many things, even though he need not have done. We had no pressure to do, but we did it as an inspiration for people.
And that's not karma yoga.
That's why he didn't need to do karma yoga. He was completely self-aware. He was an enlightened being. He was born enlightened because he is Bhagavan. Yeah. Somebody else said yes.
I have something different question. The question that something that you referred yesterday.
Yes.
What is the message of Draupadi's 5 husbands?
What is the message behind?
Draupadi had 5 husbands. She said,
Oh, Draupadi had, it was just I don't know the message. I just think that, it is a message of the given word. In fact, the whole promise is, the one promise is Ramayana. In fact, one promise, the story around one promise, you have the entire Ramayana. One promise made by Dasharatha to Kaikeyi. In that promise, Rama keeps and everything, the whole thing. And another promise, another series of promise become the Mahabharata. It is the manyata, it is the respect given to the spoken given word. Arjuna comes in all excited. Look, mother, what I have brought. And Kunti just thinks he's a small little boy. How many times have I told you to share it with your brothers? I don't want any problems later on. Share it with your brothers. And he's shocked. He's shocked because he has done Swayamvara. He went to Draupadi's Swayamvara, and the Swayamvara is a particular kind of a royal marriage where all the prospective grooms are invited, and then the girl goes with a garland, and the groom will have one sidekick with him because the groom cannot say, I am so much, I know hunting, I know this, I know that. Sidekick will say, oh, he is the prince of so, and he has a great sense of humor. Guess what, princess? He can even cook. He can do this, he can do that. And she just goes out to the next one. Not good looking, too old, too young. But she had already met Arjuna, and she said, okay, they had set this up so that she could marry him. So then Kunti was doing puja. She did not know. And really, she was shocked. Arjuna was already shocked. They were all catatonic. And so they called a sabha because we don't know who is great. We don't know. First, they talked to Draupadi. All the elders took Draupadi aside and said, will you be able to keep this future mother-in-law's word? She said, yes. And so then they devised some kind of a rule, how this sharing would happen. So then I think it was 2 years with one person, one brother. And then no SMS to anybody else at that time. No emails, no phone calls, nothing. That's how it was. It was done in a very respectful way. So Draupadi is great. The mother was great. Everybody was great. They kept the given word. So that's the message, that the given word is very, very important. The given word is like a released arrow. It has to go find its mark. Any other questions? Yeah.
In Vedanta, they say Karma Yoga is doing the right dharmic is for Antakarna Shuddhi.
Yes.
And how does the Bhagavad Gita?
Same thing.
Same.
Vedanta is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Vedanta. That Shaucham is Antakarana Shuddhi only. Shuddhi means cleansing of the heart. That's what I said. Being less reactive, more accommodative, more compassionate, less judgmental, etc.
So I just have a comment, mainly, like the Bhagavad Gita, the Krishna, so many confusing things he says. In a sense that, I'm neither this nor this and so forth. That is why I'm here and a lot of us are here, I think. And thank you for hearing a lot of things up here. And in next 2 minutes.
You're welcome. All Bhagavan's grace. Okay, see you all tomorrow. Om Namah Shivaya.